it's quite an interesting sound. It sounds like a spaceship, so I'm going to plant it now. And it's so quick. Hi guys, Alex Peak Performance Reviews, and welcome to another video, and a bit of a quirky one. You'll see from the title, yes, Porsche Taycan Turbo versus Honda Civic Type R FK8. Yeah, now you'll probably think that it sounds really ridiculous and sounds very strange and sounds very odd, and you might be right. £115,000 car versus a circa £37,000 car. But hang on, the reason why we're doing this test is because that hot hatch is pretty much the pinnacle of hot hatches. It's about as good as hot hatches get. Subjective I know, but I've driven pretty much everyone, and I would honestly say that is the best hot hatch out there as a proper driver's car. It's also probably one of the best cars I've ever driven. I've said this to anyone that knows me, even up to £150,000 cars. Now, we've been lucky enough on the channel to be able to test some amazing cars, from hot hatches to supercars. Like I said, that car is phenomenal. It has a chassis that's so good, and driver dynamics that makes driving the car so fun, that actually it would be interesting to see how close this car comes to that car. Like I say, yeah, it poles apart in terms of price, but actually in terms of lots of different tests, how would they fare? So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a quirky load of tests. So we've got 13 tests actually, from, you know, things like 0 to 60, drag runs and stuff like that, which we've got, which is really cool and exciting, you know, with a little draggy box, to practicality, comfort, dynamics, feel, everything. You name it, we cover it. So I just wanted to do this video for you all watching on, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we will enjoy driving the car. If you haven't seen my full review of the Taycan Turbo video, please watch it now. I'll pop that in the top right hand corner for you now, and yeah, just watch on and enjoy. And as always guys, if you've got any comments, please hit us up in the comment section. Be nice, but enjoy the video, and yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Yeah, welcome to a bit of a quirky video, and yeah, I'm in a Porsche Taycan Turbo, and yeah, like I said in the introduction, we're going to do lots of kind of different tests and to work out what we think is kind of the better car. The FK8, especially the new facelifted version, which obviously, yes, I own, so I could be seen as being a bit biased, is one of the best cars I've probably ever driven in forever really, and that is groundbreaking. It's a really good daily driver, and it's really good at pretty much everything, and it's a petrol combustion engined car. So being as this Taycan is a kind of introduction to all things electric, and the fact that obviously the FK8 is a ridiculously amazing car, my kind of question is, can this Porsche be as fun, as dynamic, and have as good an all-round ability as that flagship amazing hot hatch? Now, you'd probably kind of think to yourself, well hang on, that's not fair. The FK8's way cheaper. It's never going to be as good as a £115,000 car. Well, it probably will. It probably may be closer than you think, and the reason why I say that is the tests are quite quirky, and what I would probably say is, what you'll probably find is, obviously this may tick all the boxes that someone that will want this car would need to tick, and the FK8 might tick the boxes of someone else that needs a specific need and want, in, you know, like a hot hatch, as people that would want a hot hatch would want. So anyway, let's get on to the first test. Now, I am not going to be able to take myself to the Nurburgring, but the first test is Nurburgring Lap Times. Some people love it, some people don't. Mixed bag for me. Sometimes I don't like people talking about Nurburgring Lap Times because some manufacturers blatantly cheat, but some don't. And I think actually FK8 and the Taycan have not. They seem quite legit. I've looked into it. Firstly, the Taycan Turbo does the Nurburgring in 7 minutes 42. Obviously, most people that will know and fanboy over, you know, hot hatches will know that the Honda Civic Type R FK8 shape took the Nurburgring Lap front wheel drive record from another manufacturer. I can't remember who it was actually at the time, and they did a 7 minute 43 lap time. So the Taycan takes it. You could argue that obviously it's 625 horsepower versus 320 horsepower, but as dynamics goes, that probably tells you a bit about the car and how good this Taycan is. You've got to remember this is a 2.3 ton car versus a 1390 kg car, so a much more heavier car, a luxury, sporty, you know, exotic GT car. So in my eyes, anything that can do sub 8 and certainly something around 7 minutes 40 has got to be ridiculously good. And trust me when I say, I know, if you haven't watched my other video of a full review on this Taycan, you can see how much I've chucked it around and how good that car is around circuit and on normal B roads. So next one, looks. Well, I'm going to show you a load of VT of both cars. Looks are subjective. Like, to be fair, the whole test of this is subjective. You could argue till the cows come home, but I'm going to give it to the Porsche. The Porsche is absolutely stunning. I think most people say that the Civic is quirky looking, or some people say it's ugly. I really don't. I remember not liking it when it first came out, but I actually love it now. It has functionality. It's obviously developed in a wind tunnel, much like, you know, how the aero works on this car as well. Yeah, it's looks wise, when I'm out in the FK8, actually it gets a lot of love, which is contrary to the internet trolls, I suppose, that think it's ugly. I don't think it's ugly, but I'm going to give looks to the Taycan. She is a stunner. On to interior. You probably know where this is going to go. Don't get me wrong, the FK8 interior is actually really, really good. And as hot hatches go, I think personally it is still it has probably one of the best interiors for a car anywhere near kind of £40,000. There are some hot hatches that have better interiors, Audi RS3, Mercedes A45S, but the Honda Civic Type R is certainly better than lots of cars in its segment. This is a £115,000 car. It's likely to have a better interior, and it is a Porsche. 100% categorically, this wins the interior test. And on to the next test, and that is sound. Okay, this obviously seems a bit of a given. It's so unlikely anyone is going to prefer the sound to an electric car over a petrol car. I certainly don't think I ever will. Maybe someone who wants a bit of peace and quiet, then yeah, obviously. And it does have some augmented sounds in the Porsche, and they have done a great job with it, but you can't beat a petrol normal combustion sound. You can't. And don't get me wrong, this doesn't have a ridiculously amazing loud sound or anything like that from its tri-exit exhaust, but it certainly still sounds quite nice, I think, especially externally. But overall, it is a nice place to be, and it sounds pretty good. So with that, like I say, we're going to give the point to the FK8. And quite understandably so. Okay, 0 to 60, I certainly can do that for you, and I've actually done it today. And I've done it in my review, so if you want to watch my review of the Taycan Turbo, up in the top right hand corner. Now, I've done a 0 to 60 time on a damp road, which is similar to what I've got here with the Taycan, and I've done a 0 to 60 in the FK8 of 5.7. It was very easy to get that 5.7 even in the damp, so it's definitely a decent car as it goes for a front wheel drive hot hatch. So yeah, really, really good. But I can do you a 0 to 60 time in the Taycan, so bear with and I will do one. And I have my trusty draggy box, so it is going to be accurate, GPS accurate. So yeah, let's do that for you. I'm going to find my private stretch of road and I'm going to do that for you now. Here we go. Jesus. And that was 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds in the damp, guys, in the damp. Yeah, the Porsche Taycan Turbo wins this challenge, unsurprisingly. Okay, the next test is real feel and dynamics. And when I say real feel and dynamics, I mean the feeling it gives you through the steering wheel and through your butt and underneath you, the feedback it gives you. And you'd be surprised, you'd probably think this would win it easy, but actually it's a lot closer than you would think. The Porsche has got an incredible chassis, an incredible steering feel, and it runs this actually very close. But yes, I would still definitely say dynamically this feels a bit more mechanical, even though the Taycan does an amazing job of still feeling communicative and very mechanical still in its ways. So Porsche have done a very good job of that, and yeah, I absolutely love it and adore that car. But I'm going to give the win to the FK8. Braking. Now, I've done some tests, and I think all I can say is I need to give you rest assuredness as to which one's the better of the two. Now, the Honda Civic Type R has 350mm brakes with a floating disc, so absolutely superb. Pretty much the best hot hatch in terms of braking performance as well, and it's phenomenal. That being said, this has, and yes it is a heavier car, this has 390mm brakes on the front and 360mm brakes on the rear. This car will outbrake that Civic Type R, and it's unbelievable. You wouldn't believe it, but it does, and I've proven it. So yeah, point goes to the Taycan. Okay, on to the next one. It's Practicality. Which of the two is better on Practicality? Now, this has a rear boot space of 366 litres and a front compartment with 81 litres. So actually, it kind of outdoes the Civic's 420, but I think because it's got a combination of two, I'm going to give it to the Honda Civic Type R. The reason being is you can basically fold down the rear seats, and then effectively you've got 1,200 litres of space. So I've got to give it to the Civic Type R, I'm afraid, but very close. And this is near enough as practical as something like an M5, so which is also circa nearly £100,000 these days. So, and I have to say, I love an M5. I think I know what I'd have out of the two. So 100 to 200. Don't ask me how I know, but I know. So tried, tested, done, 100 to 200. The Civic Type R came out at 12.2 seconds, which is bloody quick for a standard car, a standard hot hatch. It's not the quickest. Some of the real powerful DSG cars are more than likely, and I think pretty much, I'm sure they're less than that. But aside from that, it's practically one of the fastest kind of 100 to 200 cars out there in the hot hatch segment. But this has done a verified 7.6 seconds. That is, and that's in the damp as well. I reckon it could probably do a little bit better than that, but in the sevens, that is a crazy quick car. So yep, Taycan wins it. We spoke about dynamics. I've basically, I'm doing another test and I'm giving it it's a bit different, not just feel, handling, proper real raw handling. Now we know that these cars both do a very similar Nurburgring lap time, and we've talked about feel. So which one has the better handling of the two? Well, pound for pound, horsepower for horsepower, chassis for chassis, in my opinion, the Civic Type R probably is the better handling car of the two by a micro fraction. Kind of a given, and it's all, you can see that pretty much in the Nurburgring lap time. But obviously what I mean is by horsepower, brake horsepower per tonne, chassis for chassis, I'd probably just about give it to the FK8. But the accolade I am giving this car is high, because it's actually, after driving this car a lot for the whole duration of a day, it's actually closer than I even would have thought it would be. This handles so good. It's actually up there with some of the best handling cars I have ever driven in my life. So massive plaudits to Porsche for that. This car is epic. But yeah, FK8 wins that one. Okay, daily driving ability. So that comes down to probably comfort, practicality, boot space, everything. Things like your driving range, range anxiety, the fact that you'll have to charge this. Again, I don't think there's a lot in it. This is definitely starting to bridge the gap. I would own this in confidence, knowing that it would definitely, if I was making sure I was kind of knowing where the charging points were, because of how quickly this can charge on a 270 kilowatt output charger, 22 minutes to 80% battery range, which is 200 miles or just over 200 miles, is phenomenal. And for that reason, there's not much in it, and not as much as you would think. For that reason, I do give it to the Civic Type R, but in general, it's actually a lot closer than you'd even think. Okay, so going into the final round, it couldn't be closer. You'd think it's scripted, but I absolutely kid you not. It is genuinely that close between these two cars. Yes, again, they are completely different kettle of fish in terms of pricing, but the last one is top speed. This Taycan does a top speed of 161 miles per hour. 161 miles an hour, more than what you need, certainly. However, the FK8 does a top speed of 169 miles per hour. So the FK8 wins the point. So yeah, if you worked out the math, you'll know the winner. Now we could argue, like I said to you, it's a fun little video just to do, and it's a quirky little video to do. Everything within the video, like anything, within reason is subjective, but they're my kind of opinions. However, you could argue that because the FK8 has come out on top, it's definitely the better car because it's cheaper. But is it really? No. Like with any choice in terms of car, it has to be about what you need from that car. So if the certain ones that the Porsche has won ticks your boxes and it's something that you need within a car, then, you know, maybe the Porsche wins in your head and in your mind. But, you know, for kind of what I need in general, the Type R, you know, wins out. If I could have both cars, I would absolutely have both cars, because both of them are absolutely phenomenal. For the things that this Taycan does, I mean, it's mind-blowing. For, like I say, yes, it's £115,000, but this is a supercar slayer in not only performance in a straight line, it's performance even around a circuit, around on the road, and you can kind of be happy in the knowledge that it will do it in comfort as well. And it looks damn good. It's a beautiful place to be. It has the most high-end interior that you could ever, you know, want or need. So the question is, like I said on the end video, what would you choose? Now, like I said, everything is subjective within reason. I'm trying to be as honest as I can. However, this can do certain things so much better than the FK8, and the FK8 can do things only slightly better than probably the Taycan. But to be honest with you, by and large, they're both actually really on par. This has much more quality and in exoticness, and you know, a lovely interior, and you feel great driving it. You do that as well, to be fair, but this is just a bit different. But what would you choose? What would you choose? Money no object, what would you choose? I'll be intrigued to know what your thoughts are. Was it the outcome you expected? Do you think it was fair? Again, hit us up in the comment section. The one thing I will take from this, and I will say this car is absolutely phenomenal. If I could have it in my garage, I would, and when the time comes, I'll be safe in the knowledge that I'm sure something else will be out there from Porsche, and it'll be even better than ever before. Can't wait, and I'm really excited for the future. But yeah, I must admit, at the same time, was the FK8 a worthy winner? Who knows? Both absolutely superb cars, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, guys, like, share, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.